Alright guys, we're back again with another video here. Today what I talk about is, I talk a lot about price being accepted above and below certain areas. We're going to talk about some key areas on the chart, where price moves to and from, and why it moves to and from these areas. We're also going to talk about, as price is moving up or down, when is price being accepted or rejected above or below a certain area. We're going to be looking at candlestick charts, TPOs, and a footprint chart that I've been using recently that I've been really liking. By the way, all of this screen recording and this video is taking place on a sim because we're reviewing a trade, so I can pause, go over some stuff, and it's also on CR Charts platform. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, welcome back to the LPR Trading Group YouTube channel. It's Dave again. I've got a little video I want to record here in the middle of this Sunday afternoon. If you hear any background noise, just disregard it. I've got a replay feature running right now. Now, if the replay takes any trades, which it's been doing weirdly, I don't know why, by itself, just disregard it. If I see it, I'll just flatten it. We're just going to concentrate on the charts, really. We're primarily going to concentrate on this chart up here, as well as this guy down here. Now, I will look at the TPO a little bit just to mark out some areas before we go into the day. We can see on this day we have some news. 10 a.m. we have ISM, and then we've got some FOMC stuff at 2 p.m., which we won't get into. I'm going to replay this on 2x speed, and sometimes we'll boost it up to 4x speed. But primarily what I want to talk about is acceptance and rejection by looking at our charts down here. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this footprint down below and talking about acceptance and rejection. Now, I already marked out a few levels here. So if we just look at this 1 minute chart, we can see I marked some highs out. I marked some interim pivot highs. Get this a little more accurate, somewhere there. And some lows out that we could possibly break over, break under, and grab some sitting stops above or below these areas if that's what the market wants to do. One other area I do see that I really do like, I'll take this tool and I'll mark this point of control right up here. That's a volume point of control on our TPO chart. I'm going to change that color to yellow just so we can see it here on our 1 minute candlestick chart. That could be an important area. That was point of control from yesterday. It did close up at the high, so we'll see how that plays out today. So I'm going to hit the play button. We'll start at 2x speed here. And we'll just go through some of what I can see going on today, okay? And these aren't, like, everything we talk about isn't a trade that you need to act or react on. Let's bump this up to 3x. We're just going to talk about how the chart is working out. So let me pause this here for a second. We see right off the bat, this 1 minute print right here, we've got a positive delta of 560, okay? This is also a point of control on the day, and because price is trading above here, the idea is for us to think in our heads, our buyer is going to be able to accept value above this area, right? So are the bids going to step up and accept value over this area to continue the price higher? This is key when looking at this chart or any type of footprint chart. Where is the value? Where is acceptance? Where is rejection? Okay, so right now I would just be focusing on this 560 print right here where the buyers got super aggressive, and just see if they're going to hold value over this accepted price. Okay, and going through this, like I said, it doesn't mean you have to take every single trade just because you see a large influx of aggressive buyers and price is currently trading above it. It doesn't mean you have to get long. This is just something to think about, right? We're coming back here. We're trying to test this area that buyers established. Are we going to accept value in this area in order to move price higher? Let's continue to watch this for a little bit here. So we obviously did accept this area. We printed another really thick node here. Buyers are accepting above this as well, so that means aggression is actually stepping up. We see some orders flying through on the red here on the time and sales. That is hitting under or below the bid. Okay, so sellers already trying to get aggressive and get in front of this thing. We're currently coming into our point of control. from the previous day, which is that red line there, and we can see people trying to hit short on that point of control there. We had those red delta prints come in. Buyers have established price in this area and said, okay, this is where we've accepted value at this point. Are they going to accept higher? Now it looks like sellers tried to push it below value. They had no success, and buyers are continuing to print to the upside. What you want to see on stuff like this is you want to see buyers continue to print like this, aggressive and to the upside. If you're looking at a previous area that you're trying to establish accepted value, okay? So now on this chart, my accepted value area that I'd be looking at would be something like this. We can see shorts trying to hit this again, really trying to come into the market here and put some pressure on this. We do know that 4139 area, which is right here. Actually, we'll make that yellow so it matches up with our point of control. 4139 area, that was or is our value from yesterday, right? Right here off the TPO. Okay. So the expectation is we could possibly pull back and hold that area. Now let's look at this right here. Shorts try to put on some pressure. Price could not move under this area and accept value lower. It doesn't mean it won't do it in the future, but as of right now, it is not happening, okay? They're not able to accept any value lower. Buyers applied a lot of pressure up into the highs here. This is a key area to watch. If we start dropping this area, we can expect either a short-term minor pullback, a major pullback. We can expect something. What I would want to look at is if shorts can drop this area and apply pressure below the buyers, can they drop this area and really start nailing the pressure to the short side? If so, then we know that the market has potentially changed direction and we can possibly start looking for a short trade. Okay, so we have some longs up in here at the highs, and we have some shorts trying to establish positions aggressively below them. If the market really starts rolling here and we actually get below these areas, which are still exposed, then shorts could be in trouble, or longs could be in trouble. But longs are still holding value. This is the area shorts need to push below now. They cannot accept value below this area so far. You see how price comes down? We're holding. They peak below on very low negative delta. The negative delta here is extremely low, so they're not able to push this down. What you want to see below these types of nodes are accelerated delta pressure to the downside if you're looking short. Now another thing, if you noticed it, we go here and we mark out that 39 area. We'll make this line yellow. $39, which is the point of control from yesterday. And we've got this area where buyers have established themselves. This is where price is currently wanting to hold. Okay? It is not able to establish acceptance below where shorts were applying pressure at this very moment. Okay? Price is currently wanting to hold these areas. This was always one of my biggest pitfalls as a trader. When to buy the successful pullback, right? I am pretty good with taking reversal type trades and finding exhaustion, absorption, stuff like that. But when to actually buy the value pullback, and this might help some of you guys push your value pullback buys to the next level here. Okay, so shorts were applying pressure here. Buyers actually accepted price above where shorts were putting on application of pressure. And they continue to move price higher, right? They continue to hold and push price higher, accepting higher values. As price moves up, buyers are saying this is not too expensive to buy yet. So they continue to buy. And these are small players, computers, big players, whatever. This is a combination of any buyer that thinks this is going to go up. Now you can see, I didn't even notice, but somehow the sim got us into a trade here. I'll just flatten it out and we'll continue. I've got to figure out what's going on with that. I'm not sure why it does that. And we'll continue watching this here for a little bit. So this is an area where it gets a little bit teetery, right? Buyers were supposed to hold in this area. Are they going to hold here? Are they going to hold down in that area? And remember, in order for sellers to really put pressure on this to the downside, they've got to get below this area and really hold pressure and accept value below that area. We'll drop a line here just so we can kind of monitor this area. Big sell pressure here, right? Big sell pressure, cannot hold below. One thing to note here is we're about 9 minutes before a news event. ISM is going to hit on this day at 10 a.m. So that could get things a little wonky here, but we'll continue to watch. We're on 3x speed, by the way. So right here, this 659 came in. Sellers tried to put pressure on. In the short term, they could not hold acceptance below this large sell pressure. Price went up. For the short term or the long term, we don't know. They just could not accept that area right now. My thoughts here would be that we could probably go lower and test where buyers are actually accepting price, because this area didn't even get down to the area that buyers were really putting a drill on the price here. So now we push down, and you see this, we tried to flood here down to the lows. Tough time accepting. We could still go. Sellers putting on a lot of pressure into the lows. This is like a little teeter-totter here, right? We could be up and down maybe a point, point and a half, 2 points here. Buyers try to accept value above the highs. They're not successful just yet. In any direction, above or below this node, there's not an acceleration on the deltas, right? We can see the sellers applying a little pressure here back into this little range where these crazy transactions are going on, right? There is a battle here, and this is not a battle that I would want to be a part of personally, because this is 50-50. And the thing is, when someone wins the battle, it could be temporary, right? It could be like down here, and then we just go. It could be up here, and then we fail. It could be up here, and then we go through high of day. So I try and stay away from those areas. So we push down, we get into sort of this green line area. We're at this 486 at 41.50. Sellers really trying to pressure the lows, really trying to pressure the lows. As you can see, they're not accepting value below the lows. Delta is dying down here, right? They put a lot of pressure on through the lows. Delta's dying down. They're not able to accelerate price here. We've got a big 460 buy. This could be, and here you go. Look at this buy order just climbed to 2,400. This is when the news event hits. So this would automatically have my brain thinking someone is positioned largely into this event, or they've liquidated largely into this event. Either at the offer and aggressive bids bought the offer, or someone just hit the button and said, let's go. That's a lot of contracts. So if you can't catch that growing delta while it was happening, which it did give you a chance to do, I don't recommend playing it through the news event. Just wait. What are the reactions back into this area? Because this is where the big guy wanted to buy before. So here's one test back into our area where we had the big dog put on 2,400 contracts, right? At 41.45. And if you just buy this area on the pullback, I mean, you're up 5 points, right? You're up 6 points, almost 7 points here. Just playing off lack of acceptance below the lows. This big buyer coming into play. Price really jams to the upside. And if he didn't get all his fills, well, the market's going to want to come back and fill them, right? The market wants liquidity. It's extremely liquidity hungry. So we're driving to the upside here. You can see when buyers put on the aggressive prints, the delta's just fizzled off here. Price gets down below. Sellers really start putting pressure on this guy or on this price. Let's put a rectangle here actually, and we'll just see what happens down in this area. See if we can get back down here at all. So buyers are not willing to accept breaks of the highs just yet, right? They applied pressure through the high. They could not get up through the high. Now we're coming back into this 45. Sellers are trying to apply pressure into these 45s. Not a lot of luck. They're right into the 45s now. And look what happens. As soon as we get back into the 45s, look at the buyers aggressively hit the offer here. Sellers just completely die off below here. Buy. And see what price does for you. What is this low currently? Okay, 44.75. So this is the trade that you could have taken post news, right? You don't want to play the event because it's risky, but you could play this for a scalp to the upside. And we'll let this play out a bit more. Buyers really putting on pressure into the highs here. Someone here trying to sell, right? This is where the sellers tried to take control previously. So what's happening? Someone was trying to sell this. Look at this massive order that comes in and just trashes all of these stops. Just a massive order comes in and just wrecks all of these stops, okay? We're still holding this big order, and now we've got another big order sitting on our footprint. The tape was just wildly printing red. Those are orders hitting below the bid, okay? Below the bid. And Sims got us into another trade for whatever reason. We'll flatten. Trying to hold this 603 and the 509 here. If sellers can't push this below this guy at this point, we just go up, okay? The likelihood of price coming down if we cannot push through this guy is slim. And we can see the sellers, as they put aggressive pressure on the bid, look what happens. They just die out, right? They just die out here. No more accelerated negative deltas. There's obviously some sort of bids sitting in here, absorbing this to equalize the delta. And now we can turn around, we get a push up. We're above that 3,700 right now. If we put a line on that 3,700, we should hold above this guy now. Right? We've pushed up, we open, little micro pullback into him. We should hold above this guy. All of this pressure right here, these buyers really need to accelerate price to the upside and really keep the pressure on, accepting value above the price, okay? There was value here. We plotted value right at that 3706. We accepted above, and we're going to see if we can continue accepting on the way up. We're pulling back. We're still holding these areas here where buyers have accepted, sellers putting on pressure. So the idea is if sellers want to take this, they need to start throwing in an application of pressure below this. And if they don't, and price turns around exactly like it just did, this right here is called effort, and then they've failed as price moves higher. They've made an effort to move price lower, and they've failed, because price could not accept below that, and they've actually started moving price to the upside. So back from this area right here, sellers could not sell below this and accept value below where buyers have stepped up. Buyers push up and they start accepting value above their previous value. Let's see what happens when and if this thing finally does want to turn over and reverse. Here we go. Here's a big blip, right? This is a huge blip. Look at this right here. These could be large orders hitting the bid, stop outs. Again, we just can't accept value below that. At this time, we cannot accept value below that 416. So if you assume this is pressure, the pressure should continue to the downside. If that's actually aggressive shorts drilling the bid, it should continue. It didn't. It blipped down and immediately got bought back up. If you're quick enough and you're savvy enough, once this 416 gets printed, price goes down and turns around, this can just be a scalp to the upside. Don't hold these trades like you're trying to trend a trade at high of day either, okay? What I'm getting at with this video is we don't always have to try and turn around and reverse something, right? We're going up. We are going up. Why are we going up? Value just continues to get accepted on the upside. Okay, let's continue watching this here. So right now, as we're pushing into the highs, buyers are still trying. They're trying. We do have some shorts coming in and aggressively hitting the 55.75s here. Nothing just yet to say we got to be short, or we absolutely got to be out of our longs, or we can get long here. No, there's nothing like that, okay? We're just watching price. We're watching value being accepted higher or not and being accepted lower. So this is like one of the first times that we've seen buyers kind of get really jammed up on pressure into the highs. They're putting some pressure into the highs and they're just struggling. They're just struggling to push it over the highs now and really continue price to the upside. Again, this doesn't mean just open short and face roll the keyboard and say the market's tanking, we're going to low of day. No. Okay, this is just an observation in the market. This is just something that you're seeing in the market currently. So if buyers want to accept higher, what needs to happen? Price needs to get above this with another flurry of positive delta in this area. Okay, large positive delta above this area. We've pushed above the area. Have we pushed above with extremely strong positive delta? Let me pause this. Have we pushed above this block with extremely strong positive delta saying, yep, buyers are still willing to bid higher? In my mind, no. Look at this block right here. Once we push above this block, what happens? Buyers are willing to bid higher and aggressively hit the offer higher. Once we push above this block, what happens? It doesn't look like buyers are willing to aggressively hit the offer. When we push above this block, what happens? Buyers are willing to aggressively hit the offer. Okay? Now this works one of two ways. Maybe buyers are still willing to aggressively hit the offer, but at the same time, maybe sellers are willing to aggressively hit the bid as well, which evens this delta out and doesn't make this expansive delta node to the buy side. If you look back here, when buyers were aggressively willing to hit the offer, you look at the deltas, which are measured horizontally, okay, at the tick value. You've got 673 hit the offer, 216 hit the bid. 702 hit the offer, 456 hit the bid. 232 hit the offer, 56 hit the bid. 182 hit the offer, 0 hit the bid. Okay, now we take this up. 113 hit the offer, 162 hit the bid. This is, the sell side is larger. The aggressive bids are larger now. 145 hits the offer. And then we start getting this 233 hits the bid, right? We can see visually that our deltas are not expansive here. This is the first clue that maybe the market's topping out here. Does it mean face roll your keyboard and click a button? No. We can just wait. Buyers still have the opportunity to hold here if they wanted to. And if they don't want to, we can just wait and see if we have a trade. I would like this area right now at this very moment, since this was the area that buyers last applied pressure, I would like to see for price to come back up into this area and see what happens. Can buyers push price above and start accepting higher? With this clue, something tells me probably not, right? But there's still a possibility. This is the area, or becomes the area, that sellers should really start holding price down. And here we go, we're back into that area. Can buyers start applying enough pressure to get through these passive sellers in this area? As of right now, it doesn't look like it. So if you were looking to start a short anywhere in here, and I mean start a short, I don't mean load the boat on this thing. You could start looking at possibly starting a short into this area. Buyers have given up their value and given up acceptance. Sellers are now trying to accept below value, right? Below the value for buyers. This 416 becomes important too. This is where there's a large application of pressure on the bid. If we can get below this, which is at 53, hold below this and start accepting lower, this probably means our thesis is correct. And here we go. We're accepting lower. You see these large negative deltas here below our 416. Sellers are accepting lower. Large negative deltas again. Sellers are accepting lower. Large pressure here still by the sellers. They need to accept and move price lower at this point. When we blipped up, no buyers came in aggressively to try and move price higher. It was very stale, very even, okay? Sellers applying lots of pressure. Okay, now what is this good for? This situation is good if you're in a trade. Let's say you were in a trade short, or previously you were in a trade long. When do I hold to? How long do I hold? Well, if you can see sellers continuing to accept price lower and apply negative delta pressure, which means there's more aggressive orders hitting the bid than there are the offer, you could likely hold your position for a little bit. Let's see what happens when we get a little pullback here to the upside. Sellers still putting a lot of pressure on price here. And remember, now when we get a pullback, buyers need to get above this area where sellers were previously applying pressure, right? If they can't get above these areas, then buyers are truly not taking any sort of control out of this thing. We can see the buyers trying down here. They're trying. Sellers are still applying pressure. Let's see what happens when we get back up here. Buyers are struggling to accept value above here. We've moved down off the highs, right? This has got to be an area where buyers will look for value or should be looking for value. So these deltas start dying off here too. There's not a ton of aggressive orders to the buy side. There's just not a ton of them, right? Buyers are not accepting value above price. If they were accepting value above price, these large orders would be larger. There's a combination of aggressive market orders hitting the offer and lack of passive sell orders. If there's a lot of aggressive market orders to the offer here, but there's also a lot of passive sell orders, these deltas are going to be low. That means shorts, passive, aggressive shorts are still holding down the buyers. So we know that this pullback is not acceptance because the nodes are extremely small here, right? There's not a huge aggressive move to the upside on large delta nodes where sellers have said we've given up. They have not given up, okay? And we just continue pushing price to the downside. Buyers try and get in front of a freight train again, and sellers continue to apply pressure to the downside. Okay, I'm going to pause this here. I wanted this to be a quick little video. It was probably longer than it should have been, but I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I will get back to every single comment down below. If you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll chat with you guys soon. Cheers.